welcome back to my kitchen. But in case this is the first time you're stopping by, my name is Gina and I'm a wife and mother from the Midwest, and I enjoy cooking fresh meals for my family, and sometimes I make videos of my recipes and I post them here on YouTube. So today, this is a redo of my chili video, my famous hidden veggie chili, and it's a redo because I hadn't realized while I was filming, I got a little overexcited when I was pulling ingredients out of my pantry, and I had yanked out a can of tomato paste, which literally does not belong in this recipe, and it is too tomatoey with that in there. So I thought I would refilm the recipe today, and then I'll delete the other video just so I have one on the record that is the good and correct recipe. I apologize for any of you who made the recipe and it was overly tomatoey, but I am a human and I am making these meals in real time with 2 toddlers running around behind me, and apparently I make mistakes sometimes. Anyways, so without further ado, we're going to jump in to our ingredients list. So we're going to use one 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and this is one of my favorite brands, Cento. We're going to be using one, I think it's 14.5 ounces. Yeah, 14.5 ounce can of petite diced tomatoes. And I specify petite because I don't like large chunks of tomatoes and anything because I'm a weirdo. We have 2 cans of tomato sauce, and those are both 8 ounces. And then we are going to have 2 cans of kidney beans that are going to be drained and rinsed, and those are 15.5 ounce cans or whatever, just a can of kidney beans, no big deal. Normally, I would only add 1 pound of ground beef in if I'm making the non-paleo version of this, which means it has beans in it, because this recipe could be totally paleo if you just omit the beans and you just, make it with beef. But since I'm having a crowd today, I'm actually going to be adding in 2 pounds of ground sirloin. You could actually make this recipe with just 1 if you wanted to. I mean, we're not huge meat people and it's not overly saucy, so that's completely up to you. If beef is really expensive, or if you guys just don't like that much beef, go ahead and just add 1 pound of ground sirloin in there. And then our veggies, of why it's hidden veggie chili, is because we're adding, vegetables that are not traditionally in chili, like celery and carrots. So it's going to be about a cup of carrots and about a cup of celery, 1 small onion, a whole green pepper, and a jalapeno. And then to season it all up, we've got some onion powder, chili powder, ground cumin, garlic powder, oregano, basil, and then salt and pepper. So that's it. That's all we need for our hidden veggie chili. I'm going to go ahead and get all of my veggies prepped and start browning off my ground beef, and I'll be back when we're going to start dumping stuff in the crock pot because this recipe is that easy. Alright folks, so I have just been browning up my ground beef. This has actually got a little ways to go because a lot of this isn't grease, actually. I think it's like water content that evaporates from the meat as well, because this is like 97% lean ground sirloin. And it's totally okay to use that in this recipe because it is going to cook low and slow, over the course of 8 hours. So you don't really have to worry too much about the fat content. And we are going to add whatever pan drippings are left in here straight to the chili to add to the flavor because it's not going to be a ridiculous amount of grease. But if you use something like ground chuck or ground round, I don't know what the difference is, with like the 85-20 or 85-15, I'm so bad at math, you are going to have to drain that because you don't want to add like 2 cups of fat to your sauce of your chili because that'll just be gross. So this will be done in about 2 minutes. I went ahead and I added all of my tomatoes to the crock pot, and then I pre-measured out my seasoning so I could just quickly explain them to you versus trying to measure them with one hand and making a big mess. So we have 3 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of basil, and then we have a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, and onion powder, and about a teaspoon and a half of garlic powder. We're just going to go ahead and dump all of this in here. If I'm making this just for my family, meaning like Daniel and the girls and me, I will add about a half of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper because we like it spicy. But I'm having family over today and they don't particularly enjoy very spicy food. So I am actually going to devein and seed this jalapeno and just leave it in there for flavor. But you could totally omit that as well. But if you like a spicy chili, definitely go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So this actually looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And we're just gonna dump everything right into our crock pot. And I also went ahead and drained and rinsed our 2 cans of kidney beans, so I'm gonna go ahead and put those in there. And give everything a nice stir. And then I'm gonna go ahead and prep all my veggies and toss those in, and then we'll set everything up to cook. So give me a moment to chop everything up. I'll show you what that looks like before I add it to the crock pot, and then we'll turn this sucker on. All right, guys. Sorry if my voice sounds bad. I was super sick yesterday, and I'm still getting better. I have my glasses on right now, and whenever I cut onions with my glasses on instead of my contacts, like I forget how strong they are, and it's like I cry so bad from the onions. Anyways, this is what we've got. We've got a small dice on our onion. I have cut each piece of celery into, each rib of celery into 4 strips. It is such a strong onion, jeez. And then I went ahead and diced it, and then a small dice on the carrots and the green peppers, and a mince on the jalapeno. So let me go ahead and get this in the crock pot, stir it all up, and I'll show you how I set it for cooking. Okie doke. This is what it looks like before it is going to be cooked. Nice mix of veggies and meat. Go ahead and get the lid on because that onion is like murdering me. And then we are going to select, low for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 8 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and set it and forget it, and we'll be back later and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, so here is our chili after 8 hours. Stir it up. As you can see, everything looks nice and cooked through. It's not too watery. This is very, very hot right now, so it will thicken up a little bit as it cools down. And we'll go ahead and show a taste test of the whole family who's here today, which is exciting, after it's served up. Oh, and the cornbread. The cornbread's another video. I made a short video on how I use store-bought products to come together to make a nice moist cornbread. That is a tip from my mom, and I will be posting that separately, and I'll put a link to it in the end of the video if you want to check that out. So, sure. Yeah. Alright guys, so everybody here is eating my chili, and we're going to do a taste test. What do you guys think?
So good.
Pretty good?
So good.
How's the cornbread?
Delicious.
Is it mush? Alright. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out my video redo of my famous hidden veggie chili that does not have an extra can of tomato paste in it like an idiot. I appreciate it if you like my video, if you could give me a thumbs up, and if you love it, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks, have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.